The text came on a Tuesday morning, May 3rd, 2022, 9:47 a.m., while I sat in my campus apartment, combing my dissertation for the last error before my defense the next day. 8 years on solar microgrids, finally trapped in one document. My phone buzzed. I smiled, expecting luck, maybe flight details for Saturday. Instead, "Elena, your father and I have decided not to attend your graduation. We need to be honest. We think you've wasted 8 years on something impractical. Your brother's MBA is in 2 years, and that actually matters for his career. We're saving our time and money for that." A second message followed. "We told everyone you're finally finishing school. They asked what took so long. It's embarrassing explaining you're still a student at 30. I set the phone down. My hands still shook. I called my mother anyway. She answered on the 4th ring, cheerful. "Hi, honey. Did you get my text?" "Mom," I said, "my defense is tomorrow. Graduation is Saturday." "We explained," she replied. "Your father has a golf tournament, and we've been to your college graduation. How many does one person need?" "This is my PhD." "It's another degree that won't help you get a real job," she cut in. "We love you, but we're worried." "I have a position lined up," I said. "Stanford, research, 68,000. She sighed. "Lucas makes 95 plus bonuses." There it was, my brother's name, the measuring stick. The dissertation title glowed on my screen. Scalable Microgrids for Rural Electrification. "I have to go," I whispered. "I need to prepare." "Good luck, honey," she said, soft as a closing door, and hung up. I stared at the first page until the words stopped looking like mine. My defense was the next morning, bright and cruelly ordinary. I walked into the seminar room carrying a water bottle and 8 years of stubbornness. The committee drilled me: battery degradation, load balancing, ownership models, and my answers came out steady. When the chair said, "Congratulations, Dr. Voss," my lungs remembered how to work. Outside, my advisor, Dr. Rowan Klein, touched my elbow. "Your family isn't coming, are they?" she asked. I shook my head. "I'll be there," she said. "And I'm proud of you." Saturday arrived anyway. I dressed alone, robe, velvet tam, the hood's blue and gold lining flashing when I moved. In the arena, names echoed while families waved posters and lifted phones. I scanned the crowd until my eyes burned. No familiar faces, just Dr. Klein in faculty regalia, sitting upright as if her posture could fill my empty row. When my name was called, I crossed the stage to applause from strangers. The dean shook my hand. A flash went off somewhere, someone else's camera. Afterward, I drove my battered Civic home and ate takeout over my boxed diploma. At 8:30 p.m., my mother texted, "Did it go okay? Not congratulations, not we're proud, just a question with no landing place." I typed, "Yes," she replied, "Good, talk soon." 2 weeks later, I packed my life into cardboard and headed for Palo Alto. Stanford's lab smelled like solder and coffee, and the work was everything I'd chased. My parents called once about Lucas's promotion, then asked if I'd found real work. 3 months in, a startup I'd been advising, Sunspan, called me. Their CEO, Mateo Cruz, sounded wrecked. "We're dying," he said. "But your design could save us. Will you help me make it real?" I met Mateo that night in a conference room. Our last prototype sat between us. My controller board taped into a box. 2 months of runway, he said. "If we can prove it works, we survive." I took a leave from Stanford. Then the leap. We rebuilt the system to endure dust and bad wiring, and trained local technicians instead of flying in Heroes. In November, we lit our first village outside Nairobi, one roof at a time, until the dark broke into windows. A year later, Stanford invited me to speak at the MBA commencement. Backstage, my hands trembled the way they had over my dissertation. When I stepped into the roar, I saw my parents in the stands, and Lucas beside them, grinning like he'd finally learned my shape. I told the graduates what my family once refused to hear, that impractical work is often the only work that changes anything. I showed one photo, kids studying after sunset under our lights. Then I walked off stage and found my parents in a hallway. My mother cried. My father apologized, halting and raw. I didn't forgive on command, but I set one rule. If they wanted me, they had to ask before they judged. That night, my diploma came out of the drawer and onto the wall.